Welcome to another presentation of the Solid Sports Video Blog. This is our NFL season preview special, as this is episode 53. It is September 2nd, 2018. Thank you for joining me. I'm Troy West. NFL season kicks off this Thursday night as the defending champion Eagles defend their title, start to defend their title, as the Atlanta Falcons will come in a big week 1 matchup. Like I said, this is a wall-to-wall NFL preview. I'm gonna break down every team in the NFL, where they finish. I'll give you my division winners, who I think will make the playoffs, also my Super Bowl 53 prediction, the whole 9 yards. So thank you for joining me. If you're an NFL fan, it's definitely here. You play fantasy football, I planned this year. So this is an exciting week for football. College football started yesterday with some big games, some good games on yesterday. Especially that Washington-Auburn game that was a hell of a game there. Michigan and Golden State, Notre Dame game, but I heard that was a good game as well. Notre Dame poured out. So this is how we're gonna do it. I did this last year as well. I'm starting the AFC. Go through each division, touch on every team from bottom to the top. Then I'm gonna go to the NFC, do the same. Then I'll give you my playoff teams, who I think will contend for the playoffs, and of course the MVP and all the big awards, predictions, and who I think will meet in the conference championship games, and then who will eventually win Super Bowl 53, which probably would be sort of the obvious choice, almost, if you think about it. But let's go ahead and get started in the AFC. We're gonna start in the East, because I think this was the easiest one for me to predict as far as who will win the East. But I got the Buffalo Bills finishing last of the division. Still rebuilding. Got a rookie quarterback in Josh Allen. I think they traded AJ McCarron yesterday to the Oakland Raiders. Raiders made some moves yesterday, as we will talk about when I get to the Raiders. But so I'm guessing Allen is going to start for Buffalo. So just they rebuilding. They got Calvin Benjamin, but other than that, not a lot of weapons lost. Sean McCoy's still there, but he have his troubles off the field right now. But I just think they just the least talented team in the division. I think they finished last, but we'll see if Allen develops. It could elevate them. Maybe they could make a run, but this year I don't think they're gonna be that relevant. This one was a little bit tough. I like the Jets. They third in the division though, but I got a feeling they could probably go surprise some people though. But I didn't put them higher because the two teams got established quarterbacks. So that was basically my decision on the Jets. But wouldn't be shocked if they finish second in the division. Sam Darnold looked like he's ready. We'll see how he plays. He been called the starter. Not a lot of talent or offense though around them. Maybe that's part of the reason why I got them third. Jets defense though pretty decent. But you can tell that they motivated and they believe in Sam Darnold. So I think this is a team that could probably shock you, give you a few more wins, maybe compete for one of those wild card spots. But just out of respect for the two quarterbacks ahead, the other two teams I'm about to talk about, I just put the Jets third. But I wouldn't be shocked if they finish second in the division, because the team that I do got finished second, the Miami Dolphins, a lot of questions around Ryan Tannehill. Even though, like I said, Donald is up and coming, I just had to give Tannehill the benefit of the doubt, and I put them second. But honestly, I wouldn't be shocked as well if Miami, the Jets, and Buffalo all finish with 5 or 6, 7 wins at the most, and then the team that's we about to talk about probably still finish with 12 wins, probably win this division pretty easily. But Miami, don't see them being too relevant either. They traded a lot of guys away in the off season as well. So we'll see how they fare this year, but it's going to depends on Tannehill, which they already rumbling that they ready to move on from him. So, but I still give him the benefit of the doubt. That's why I got Miami finishing second in the division. And number one in the division, no secret here. The New England Patriots got them finishing and winning this division once again. Tom Brady's back, over 41 years old. When will he decline? Everybody's waiting for that. They're worried about New England, a couple of injuries and elements out the first 4 games. The offense, like where who gonna step up? But Brady always make something out of nothing. So I still believe New England is a strong contender, not just the division, but in the AFC period. Gronk, let's see if he can stay healthy. I think it's a little bit of pressure on him this year. I don't want to say pressure, but I think he's going to have to really dominate this year, stay on the field to help the Patriots out to get at least throughout the playoffs. They're going to definitely need him because they win this division no matter what. I don't see them losing this division. That'd be a shock to me if they don't win the division, but real strong contender though in the AFC to me. The AFC to me is wide open. So that's the East. Bills 4th, Jets 3rd. I got the Dolphins finishing 2nd, and New England will win the division once again. Alright, let's go to the West, the AFC West. Tricky division. All these teams got potential. But I got the Denver Broncos finishing last and 4th in the division. Mainly because of their quarterback play. They got talent. They still got Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders on the outside at receiver. You heard about Julius Thomas. He retired. And is going to go to college, get his PhD. He going to study the CTE problem in the NFL. So that was interesting. He used to play for the Broncos, played for the Jaguars, the tight end. So that was interesting news. I think that was 2 weeks ago though. I meant to bring it up in one of my blogs. But Broncos on defensive side still strong. Chris Harris still there in the secondary. You got Von Miller, got the rookie Bradley Chubb, who showed some flashes in the preseason. So they're gonna be able to get after the quarterback. So I see Denver, possibly, making some noise with the defensive side of the ball, definitely. Probably be in a lot of games, but just won't be able to pull them out because of their offense. That's basically how I see Denver's season unfolding here. So they finish at 4th. Oakland Raiders got them finish at 3rd. Now, really between 3 and 1, I think they do have potential to win this division. I think the Raiders do if Derek Carr comes back. He was hurt the year before. So really this is his first 4 year back. So maybe he improves and plays better. Amari Cooper, see what kind of season he has. Beast mode, have to get in the beast mode and go back to the old Marshawn Lynch. Of course you heard about Khalil Mack. Bears stepped up, gave him 2 first rounders, which to me was too much. I would have gave up 2 first rounders, but I guess the Bears wanted Mack that bad. Then they paid him 6 years, $141 million. I think 80 of that is guaranteed, which sets a record for a defensive player. So that was unbelievable. It's a little bit of a shock that was the Bears. The Jets was in the running for him, but I think the Jets probably wasn't trying to give up 2 1s. I probably wouldn't either, personally. But the Bears made the move. I think the Raiders get some picks back. Some future picks back as well. I think a 5th rounder I saw, or something like that. But I guess they couldn't work it out. And I think that's huge. So defense is a big questions on the defense side of the ball. Is they gonna have to outscore people? We'll see. But I got to finish at 3rd. Jordy Nelson, of course, joined the Raiders in the offseason as well. So we'll see how the Raiders offense do, but the defense is going to be a question mark. Kansas City Chiefs. Got to finish it second. Going with the young Patrick Mahomes at quarterback. He's looked sharp at times in the preseason. Also looked a little like a rookie. Of course, this is his second year, but it's the first time he's going to get to play. Of course, they shipped Alex Smith to watch the Redskins. So that he got the ball in his hands now. Got a lot of talent around him. Tyreek Hill, Kareem Hunt. They got Calvin Benjamin in the offseason, so the offense, like, they're going to be very formidable. Defense, a lot of questions. My man Eric Berry, I think he's back. I gotta check that. Their defense is the question. Can they form that defense and get it together? If they do, they could be a contender and possibly win this division, but I got them finish at second as of right now. And number one in the division in the West, got the San Diego Chargers. Will this be their year? They suffered some key injuries in the preseason as well, but the defense is supposed to be sharp. And also Phillip Rivers, see how he played this year for San Diego. Got a lot of talent at the wide receiver position. Mike Williams, they'll go with Keenan Allen on the other side and Melvin Gordon in the backfield. I just think they're the deeper team in this division. But I don't know after that in the playoffs how far they will go, but I got the winners division. So to recap the West, Denver Broncos fourth, Raiders third, I got the Chiefs finishing second, and the San Diego Chargers finishing first in the West. Let's move on to the North, another interesting division in the AFC. Got the Browns finishing last, but I like the talent that the Browns have though. On both sides of the ball, got a young, fast defense. Watched them against, I know it was a preseason game. I believe it was against the Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah, they shut the Eagles down in that preseason game. I like the way the defense looks. Offense still will be troubling. Tyrod Taylor's going to start, at least it looks like. So Baker Mayfield had to wait for a little while, but they're turning in the right direction. The question mark is around Hugh Jackson. How long will he keep his job? A lot of people think if they get off to a bad start, they might let him go during the season. Of course, the Browns only won one game in 2 years, so. But some people, I mean, some experts got them finishing high, like 8-8. Some still got them struggling again. I don't know exactly what their record would be, but I think they're going to improve from 0 wins, which is easy to say, but I think they'd be a decent team and be in a lot of games, but probably just won't be able to finish them off. But I got them finishing fourth, but they is trending in the right direction. Number 3, Cincinnati Bengals. Just the same old Bengals, I guess. Andy Dalton, AJ Green, you know about those guys. Defensive side of the ball, decent. I mean, they're a decent team. They got a decent talent on both sides of the ball, but just could never make that step, take that next step to be a real contender. Of course, a lot of turmoil around Marvin Lewis as well. Will he keep his job? He had his job for 17 years. So will he improve and get this team? But I wouldn't say they're a sneaky team, but like I said, they have the talent. So maybe if, well, it's the NFL, so injuries happen. Maybe something like that, they can make a rise. But right now, only got them finishing third in the North. Number 2, the Baltimore Ravens. Of course, you see my Ravens hat. I'm a Ravens fan. I live in Baltimore. The Ravens to be, it's all going to depend on Joe Flacco. He looks good right now in the preseason. He looks sharp. Looks like he's ready, like he's motivated. Maybe because they drafted Lamar Jackson. They did keep RG3. That was a big question going into the cuts yesterday. They did keep him. So right now, they do have 3 quarterbacks on the roster. LeBron Jackson is, probably a year or 2 away. He ain't ready yet. So it's going to be Flacco unless he gets hurt. got some better talent around. They did release Bashard Perriman yesterday. But Michael Crabtree, I always liked him. He's a good, solid receiver. I'm just the running back core to me. I'm still a little skeptical on. I mean, they don't have one guy. Not saying that it really most teams don't have one guy, but there's not one guy that stands out. It's a committee, which is fine. But I just feel like we don't have a guy that can break out and really be the number one back. But the offense should improve, and the defense is going to come. Terrell Suggs still playing at a high level. The defense always looks sharp. Jimmy Smith out first 4 games. That's probably a big loss for the Ravens, but Eric Weddle's still back there. So I think their defense will be decent. I think they will compete for a wild card, maybe win and get a wild card spot. But I still got them finished at second. Some people got them finished at first, and I'm not just saying it because I'm a fan. But I just still don't see them to throw in the number 1 team in this division, which is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Even though the Steelers have a lot of questions, is Le'Veon Bell going to come back this week and be ready for Week 1? That's still a question up in the air. Right now, he's not there. Ben Roethlisberger, questionable, as far as his health, when he's going to retire. That's been an issue for the last couple of years. But the offense, of course, Antonio Brown, that guy's unbelievable. As long as you give him the ball, your offense will be fine. Defense, a little bit question on that side of the ball. But I like J.J. Watt, little brother, T.J. Watt. He jumps out the page for me, for them. If he can make us take a next step, maybe dominate, get this defense back to what they know them to be. But that's the only issue with the Steelers, really, is their defense and, of course, the Le'Veon Bell thing. But I just think they're too talented not to win this division. Probably win about 12 or 13 games again and compete in the AFC playoffs. So to recap, the North, Browns last, Bengals third, Ravens finishing second, and I got the Steelers winning this division once again. Alright, let's move on to the AFC South. Probably the toughest division for me to pick out of all of them. This was rough. But I did feel sure about this, who will finish last, the Indianapolis Colts. I like Andrew Luck, he's back. Still shaking some rust off if you've seen him in the preseason. But he just don't have no talent around him. T.Y. Hilton, only receiver really he has that's consistent. Defensive side of the ball, still young, still questionable. Offensive line still questionable. So, I guess this starts out crazy. They'd be a good last place team, but like I said, I think they'd compete, be in some games, maybe upset some people here and there, but don't think it'd be enough. I think they'd finish last in the South. Number 3, the Tennessee Titans. Marcus Mariota still growing, still trying to reach his potential, but he did win a playoff game last year. That's why you gotta bring that up. And he gets compared to Jameis Winston. They went 1 and 2 a few years ago. But can he stay healthy because he be having nicks and bruises as well. Nice balanced team. Decent receivers. Delaney Walker, tight end, very consistent. Defensive side of the ball, pretty decent on that side as well. We'll see if they can make a next step. But I just think, I just looked at these teams and looked at their talent, and I was like, well, Tennessee the least talented out the other 2 teams, so I put them third. But it wouldn't shock me, like I said, if they finish second or maybe even win this division. So, got Tennessee finishing third. Houston, Texas, I got them finishing second. Deshaun Watson, can he repeat what he did last year? Looked like a world beat out there before he got hurt. But he do got 2 bad knees, so he's a question mark. Really, this whole team is a question mark as far as injuries. J.J. Watt, he's back. I actually got him having a good year, but can he stay healthy? That'll be the question for him. If so, I think if those two players stay healthy, then they have potential to really do some damage in the AFC, just by pure talent-wise and defense. With Watt coming back and Javier Cloudy on that front line, got a strong front line, so that disrupts some teams' offensives. So we'll see. This is a lot of team trendy picks. Some teams picking this team to go to the Super Bowl. Don't blame them. They got the talent to do it. But like I said, can Watson and Watt stay healthy? If so, then yeah, I can see the potential of that happening. But that's my big question mark. So that's why I got them second in the division. So number one in the division is the Jacksonville Jaguars. Defensively, probably definitely got the best defense in this division. But they question this offense. Can Blake Bortles carry him this year? But they lost Hearns and Allen. And Allen went to the Chicago Bears. And I think Hearns is in Dallas. So their top two receivers is gone. And I think one of their receivers just got hurt in preseason. So even though Bortles got to step up, not a lot of talent around him. I guess it's going to be on Leonard Fournette in the run game to put some points on the board for the Jaguars. But I think their defense is so good, it's going to sort of offset their offense, and it'll be enough to win this division. So we went through the whole AFC. So let's recap the South. Colts last in this division, Titans third, number two the Texans, excuse me, and the Jacksonville Jaguars. I got them finishing first in the division. So that's it with the AFC. We'll move on to the NFC. We'll talk more about the AFC when we get to the playoff predictions, which is soon. So let's move on to the NFC. The NFC East, let's do them first. Washington Redskins got them finishing last. But like I said, this is not a bad team. Alex Smith, I like Alex Smith. Not a risk taker. That's his main knock on Alex Smith, but he's still talented. He can get the ball out of his hands. Redskins offense should be still decent. And they lost their rookie running back to an ACL tear as well. But the defense still improving. I watched them a few times in the preseason. The front line should be decent though, the way it looks. But the secondary, see if they can step up. But just off talent, I just don't think they're as talented as the other teams in this division. Probably, like I said, probably get a decent amount of wins, probably win a game here and there. But I got them finishing last in the East. Third, Dallas Cowboys. And this division was hard to do as well. Got Dallas finishing third. Dak Prescott, probably a big year for him. See if he can improve. Ezekiel Elliott be back for the whole season this time, so he's probably primed to have a monster year. Offensive line got some injuries on it, so we'll see if they continue to play at a high level. But defensively, a lot of people saying Dallas a little underrated defensively. With Gregory and the rest of these young defensive linemen, but they stay in trouble as well. Can they stay on the field from either smoking weed or something else? He's been off the field a couple of times, so that'll be the question mark for Dallas. Some people got them finishing higher. I think this is just right, but I wouldn't be shocked if they finish higher than where I got them here. But just out of everything, if I looking at everything, I got them finishing third in the East. Second, the New York Giants. Of course, they drafted Saquon Barkley. Odell Beckham finally got his money, so maybe he'll be more focused. Can Eli Manning get the ball to him? Offensive line still a question mark. But this offense should take a step forward. Now that they got a real running back for the first time probably since Tiki Barber to me, even though they've had some running backs here and there that done a good job for him. As far as a steady back, Saquon Barkley supposed to be that guy. The defense struggled last year, but they still got the Jackrabbit, Landon Collins, and some talent on that side of the ball. So we'll see if they can repeat what they did the year before. But the Giants, like I said, has the potential, but just still don't see them dethroning the defending champions, not yet. As we move on to the defending champion Philadelphia Eagles, finish it first. But of course, a big question mark going in the season for the Eagles was who was going to start. But a report came out saying that it's going to be Foles, but it's nothing official from the Eagles. They didn't say anything, but the reports from the inside is it's going to be Nick Foles to start the season. But I think it's smart, personally, because don't need the rush Carson Wentz back if he's still not ready. Even though they say he looks good, he looks like he's ready. And then Foles struggled in the preseason, so that may make you think to make a move like that. But if Wentz not ready, it's only been 9 months since his injury, tore his knee up. I think you don't rush him back. I think as long as you don't finish, get off to a bad start, which I think the Eagles probably worry about. I think they still should be able to come back and win this division. So that's up with the East. Redskins last, Cowboys third, Giants second, Philadelphia Eagles defending champion, still winning this division again. Let's go out to the NFC West, which is an interesting division this year. The Arizona Cardinals got to finish it last. Quarterback problems there, which has been the last few years to me personally, even though Carson Palmer was consistent when he was out there, but he was in and out, was hurt a few times. But they got David Johnson, primed to have a big year, big comeback year. Of course, he was hurt last year. Let's see if he can stay on the field. Larry Fitzgerald's still there. Defensively, got some talent. Chandler Jones, Patrick Peterson. So the defense have potential to make them compete in games. They're a very interesting team. Like if they do get good quarterback play somehow, they drafted Josh Rosen from UCLA, which I think he's eventually going to start. Sam Bradford's there. I don't know what they do with Sam Bradford, but if they get decent quarterback play, they'd be a little pesky team to deal with. But that's a big question mark, so that's why I had to put them last here. And now we start to get interested. Number 3, the San Francisco 49ers. Jimmy Garoppolo, of course, everybody knows how he started his career. He haven't lost a game yet. I think that will change this year. He got paid. He's their franchise quarterback now. But not a lot of talent around him, though. Had got some bad news with Jerick McKinnon teared his knee up. They said it was bad, and it was confirmed that he tore his ACL. So that's one guy down for him. But 49ers, though, trending up, just like I said about like the Jets and the Browns. They're young, trying to get maybe in a year or two they'll be competing for a playoff spot, maybe for this division. But not this year. I still think they're a year away to turning the corner. I got them finishing third. Number 2, Seattle Seahawks. Seattle, a lot of people writing this team off, but I still believe in Russell Wilson. I think Baldwin, I think he's hurt the first couple of weeks, I believe. Doug Baldwin, so hopefully he get him back and get some consistency of the receivers. They drafted a young running back. Name ain't coming to me right now, but hopefully if they get some type of running game to help out Russell Wilson, their offense should be fine. Defense, a lot of question marks. Earl Thomas still there. They said they're not going to trade him, so let's see if he's motivated, see if he can get this defense together. Everybody else is gone. Of course, I just mentioned the 49ers. That's where Richard Sherman is, and most of that Seattle defense is gone, so a lot of question marks with that. But I still respect Russell Wilson. I still respect this organization, so don't think they just gonna roll over and have a terrible year. But I do think they will at least compete for a wild card spot, as I got to finish second in the division. Which means number one, and probably should be number one with all the talent, is the LA Rams. Jared Goff, could he continue and have a monster year like he did last year? Todd Gurley, I think I expect him to have a big year. And this offense should be a little bit more explosive. Picked up Brandon Cooks in the offseason, signed him to a big contract. Finally paid Aaron Donald the other day, so he's back. So that defensive line is going to be nuts with him, Ndamukong Suh, the secondary with I hate when I get brain locked like this. Hakeem Talib and Marcus Peters from Kansas City. Those two is there, so defensive guys all around and every level. So Rams should be probably talent. They're probably the most talented team in the NFC, and I expect them to win this division. So in the West, Cardinals last with the 49ers finishing third, Seattle number 2, and the Rams winning the division. NFC North was another tough division for me to pick through, but finishing last, I got the Bears, but they trending up. As you see, they making moves. Traded for Khalil Mack yesterday, paid him his money, so he'll be there, go along with that young Bear defense. But of course, their development is going to depend on Mr. Trubisky. Can he keep improving? If so, then the Bears is trending up as well. Don't like that they gave up the 2 1s though. I still don't like that, because they're going to finish probably in the top 10, you know. So the Raiders going to get a couple of top 10 picks, because I think the Bears' record ain't going to be that good. So that's the only reason why I wouldn't have gave up. Well, I probably would have gave up 1, but not 2. But they wanted to get Mac, and they got him, and they stepped up. I think that's why they probably outbidded the Jets. I'm thinking the Jets probably wasn't willing to give up 2 1s. But Bears trending up. So we'll see. I like they running back core with Cohen and dang, what's the other running back's name? Jordan Howard, excuse me. And my brain is locking right now. Ain't getting names right, but they're a decent upcoming team, so we'll see. I think they still, like I said, maybe a year or so, depending on Trubisky's development. They'd probably be a team to deal with, but the defense they're gonna be a fun team to watch. I put it that way. They'll be interesting now that Mac is there. But I'll still have them finishing last in the division. Number 3, Detroit Lions. Matthew Stafford, of course, the quarterback, but other than that, who you have around them, you know. And that's my problem with the Lions. Defensively, you know, no real studs to name, but hopefully they'll be decent enough. Probably maybe compete for a wild card spot, maybe, but I just still think they have the talent to. I just think they'll be a team, like I said about some other teams, they'll win a game, win some games here and there, but it won't be enough to make the playoffs, I don't think. And I got to finish at 3rd in this division. Now the top 2 teams I've kind of struggled with back and forth with, but I just, when I think 2 teams are even or sort of even, you just look at the quarterback. So I picked Minnesota to finish 2nd in the division. Kirk Cousins, they did sign him in the offseason. Maybe I say a small improvement from Case Keenum. Of course, Case Keenum is in Denver, which I didn't mention when I was talking about the Broncos, but I don't think he elevates the Broncos too much. I think they pretty much, I won't say the same guy. I think Kirk Cousins is more, he throws down the field more. But we'll see. They got the talent around them. Dealing and dang. Stephon Diggs. There we go. They get Dalvin Cook is back, so the offense probably will be pretty decent, but the defense, you know, is coming. Terrence Newman retired. He's going to join the coaching staff. They announced that yesterday. But still some good guys on defense. Minnesota, interesting team, has the potential to really do some damage. But I got them finish at second. And I picked Green Bay to finish first. Which is, to me, I don't feel great about it because of their defense and who they do got around Aaron Rodgers. But I believe Aaron Rodgers, he just got paid as well. I think he's going to have a monster year that'll be enough to carry the Packers to #1 in this division and possibly further than that. So in the North, we got the Bears 4th, Lions 3rd, Vikings 2nd, Packers 1st. Those two teams, I wouldn't be surprised if Minnesota win this division. But I think both of those teams are definitely going to make the playoffs in the NFC. Let's go to the NFC South, which is most interesting division as well. Number last, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The problems around Jameis Winston, you know, he's out the first 3 games. Just too many problems down there. Can the defense play better? We'll see with Gerald McCoy on that front line leading them. Mike Evans, can Ryan Fitzpatrick carry them the first 3 games? GM came out and said, well, Wilson ain't guaranteed his job when he do come back. So, I mean, I think it's some turmoil down there. I think it might just about to blow up and be a disaster down there. At least that's what it feels like. So I got Tampa finishing last in the South. Number 3, like I said, this was a tough division to pick, but any of these 3 teams is capable of winning this division. But I got Atlanta finishing 3rd. Matt Ryan, been playing about the last few years. Can Julio Jones, well, they fixed his contract, but he's still looking for a big contract as well. He'll probably get it, especially if he have a monster year this year. Falcons, like I said, has the capabilities. Good running backs with Freeman leading the way. Had the potential. Defense, optimistic. They play in that dome, so had the potential. But I still got to finish at 3rd in the division, maybe competing for a wild card spot. Of course, 3 teams from this division made the playoffs last year. I don't think that's going to happen, but if it does, I wouldn't be shocked if Atlanta got in the playoffs, or maybe even finish higher in this division. But right now, I have them finishing 3rd in the South. Number 2, Carolina Panthers. Cam Newton, can he have a monster year? Always inconsistent somewhat, but if he have a monster year, I think they can finish 2nd, maybe even compete for the division. Defense is going to be there with all the great linebackers running all over the place. And of course, I'm getting brain lock again. McCaffrey out the backfield. Can the offense be more dynamic? So we'll see. But the defense is definitely going to be there. And I'm trying to think of the linebacker's name, but I can't. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm tired. Just can't think. I think Greg Olsen, is he hurt? I think Greg Olsen will be back, the tight end. But Carolina, they have the pieces. So we'll see how far they will go. But like I said, it depends on Cam's consistent play. But I got to finish in 2nd. And number 1, the New Orleans Saints. And I think because their defense vastly improved last year, that's why they was definitely a playoff team, and they won this division last year. Drew Brees getting up there in age, but Still one of the top 3 quarterbacks in this league, in my opinion. They traded for Teddy Bridgewater, which is interesting. So maybe they know something we don't know. Maybe Breeze is contemplating retirement or something. But if he goes down, they have a reliable quarterback to step in his place. Michael Thomas, see what he can do this year. Ingram out the first 4 games. I think that's a big loss. Alvin Kamara gonna have to carry the team on the running back position, but I think he can. So I think the Saints should be fine. I just think all these teams, they have the most consistent offense and defense, so I went with them to win the division. So Tampa finishing last, I have no doubt about that. Atlanta 3rd, Carolina 2nd, the New Orleans Saints number 1, but just an injury here and there or something happened. I think Atlanta and Carolina is also capable of winning this division. Probably one of the most tough divisions in football as well. With the NFC South, the AFC South is tough. The NFC East is going to be tough this year. I think the AFC West is questionable. Everybody else, I feel pretty confident in to win the divisions here. So that's every team in the NFL. One by one, broke them down a little bit. So now let's go to, let's see, should we do the playoff predictions first? Yeah, we're going to do that first. Then I'll give you who I think the MVP and all that will be. Alright, let's start in the AFC. So this is from, it's 6 teams made the playoffs, so I'm going to count from 6 up to who I think could be the number 1 seed and win home field. And then I'll give you who I think will just miss the playoffs and probably contend for a spot as well as a wild card. So that's how I'm gonna do it here. So let's start the NFC, since we just talked about the NFC. Finishing 6th and just getting in the playoffs, the Carolina Panthers. Like I said, I got them finishing 2nd in the North. In the South. I think they have a good enough record to get in at 6. At 5, I got Minnesota. And of course, I really feel like they made the playoffs either as a wild card or a division winner, because I think both them and Green Bay have more than 10 wins easily. So I got them finishing 5th. Green Bay, I got finishing 4th just because of the tough record they have, but they will be the North champion. Got the Saints, the South champion, finishing 3rd. I got the Eagles finishing 2nd, and I got the Rams getting the number 1 seed. And I think in the NFC, the number 1 seed is going to really be a factor. Only teams I feel like they can go on the road and win probably is Green Bay out of these teams. But teams I feel like that might just miss the playoffs, the Falcons. Like I said, I think they're capable of getting in. The Seattle Seahawks, I think, as well. Like I said, I don't count out Russell Wilson. And the New York Giants, I think, could be just on the outside looking in, but I think they could compete for one of those last wild card spots. Or like I said, Atlanta, I think they're capable of winning their division, so that's part of the reason why I put them in this little group as well. So yeah, I got the Rams winning the NFC as far as getting the 1 seed, and the Eagles will be right there. They get the byes. Then Saints, Packers, Vikings, Panthers, and the NFC. Over in the AFC, got the Houston Texans making it. As long as they stay healthy, I think they're just too talented not to make it. I got them 6. I got the Ravens 5. Maybe it's a little biased, but I really feel like they got a good team this year to at least make the playoffs. If not, I believe John Harbaugh's seat's gonna be really hot, and I believe they might let him go. So it'd be 4 years in a row they didn't make the playoffs, and 2 of the times it was basically off a game that you were supposed to, all you had to do was win, and you was in. And last year it happened, so I think this is a big year for him to keep his job. Got the South champion Jaguars getting the 4th seed. I got the West champion San Diego Chargers getting the 3rd seed. So I got the Steelers finishing 2nd. I still got the Patriots finishing number 1. Just think they're in the easy division, so they have more wins. And then I think well, at least, well, I know New England and Pittsburgh, they play each other. I think New England gonna win that game, so that would be a tiebreaker right there as well. So that's how I think the AFC gonna break down. Contenders, I think the Tennessee Titans will be right there competing for a playoff spot again. The Chiefs, of course, a sleeper team. And the Bengals, like I said, the Bengals got the talent, but can they put it together enough to make the playoffs this time? But the AFC got, you know, it's kind of wide open, so we'll see. But that's how I look at it, break it down. Texans getting that last spot, Ravens 5th, 4th, Jaguars 3rd, San Diego Chargers, LA Chargers, excuse me. I probably called up San Diego a couple of times. Still, I think that's where they belong, honestly. I don't think they should be in LA. Pittsburgh Steelers and the New England Patriots getting that 1 seed in the AFC. So with those teams being in the playoffs, well, first let's do the MVP and stuff first. Then we go into who I think will make the Super Bowl and all that. I think winning MVP this year, Todd Gurley. I think he'll have a monster year. I do got, like I said, I got the Rams finishing first in the NFC, so I think that'll help his cause as well. He's gonna probably have 1,400 yards, nearly 100,000 yards receiving as well. I think he'll have a monster year. He got his money as well, so maybe that'll motivate him to prove it that he deserves it. I think he's gonna have a monster year. I got him winning MVP over Brady. He'll be a probably a contender for it. Aaron Rodgers, you know, the normal quarterbacks if they stay healthy. But I think Todd Gurley gonna win it this year. Defensive Player of the Year, J.J. Watt. If he stay healthy, I think he's gonna win that and win Comeback Player of the Year. I think he's definitely itching to get back out there and prove himself. Really been out the last 2 years a lot, so if he have a monster year, he'll probably win comeback. If they have a Comeback Player of the Year in the NFL, he'll win that too. But I think he's gonna have a monster year and win Defensive Player of the Year. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Saquon Barkley of the Giants. Pretty easy choice. There's no other rookies out there. Well, now that Sam Darnold is starting, if he could somehow get the Jets, you know, close to a playoff spot and have a decent year, he'd be a contender for it now that he's going to start. But I think Saquon Barkley, just because he's going to get the touches, you know, he's going to be the starting running back, so he's going to have opportunity to put up big numbers. So that's basically why I picked him. So he should win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Bradley Chubb of the Broncos. I had to do some research on him and on the defensive rookies. I just picked him because I think he's going to have just a monster year, even though I don't think Denver going to compete in the AFC too much. But somebody else might win it that with a better record. There's other rookies out there on better teams. But I just think, like with Barkley, I think he's going to get a lot of opportunity. So he'll put up numbers, and he'll definitely be in the contention for it. So I'm going to go ahead and go with him for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Alright, so let's get to the nitty gritty. Who I think will represent each conference in the Super Bowl. But first, who I would think meet in the AFC Championship. Well, in the AFC, same two teams again. Well, for the last couple of years, well, last year was Jacksonville, but the Steelers and the Patriots, I think they will meet in the AFC Championship once again. The Steelers, unless the Patriots gets upset, I think, I don't know, I guess the way I got the AFC breaking down, I think LA Chargers would have to come and play them, and I think they'd beat them at home. I think that cold weather would be too much for them. In New England, of course, they just gets it done. I just can't go against them. No matter how I'm trying dragging my brain, like, okay, who can really beat these guys? But I don't see it. I just think somehow New England's gonna make it, and they're gonna win this game. So I got New England representing the AFC once again in the Super Bowl. In the NFC, I got the Saints making it to play the Rams in the NFC Championship game. Of course, I don't like the Saints when they gotta go on the road, and I think. But I do pick them to beat the Eagles in that divisional round, only because I think whoever's playing Wentz or Nick Foles, I think the Saints will be able to rally them. I had them going last year once the playoffs started, but you know, the miracle in Minnesota with Case Keenum throwing it to Stephon Diggs, which was the safety. All he had to do was stand up and make the tackle. But anyway, got the Saints beating the Rams, but I think the Rams will beat them because they would have that 1 seed. And I think the Rams will represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. So my Super Bowl 53 matchup is the New England Patriots against the Los Angeles Rams. Of course, this is a rematch of Super Bowl 36 years ago, when New England won their first championship with Tom Brady. Adam Vinatieri kicking the field goal in the last seconds. Of course, this was right after 9/11, so it was a weird year, but the Patriots was able to get it done, and the rest is history, as you know. And I think they'll make history. I think the Patriots will win it again. I think Brady will get his 6th, and I think he might shock the world and retire. That's my prediction. That's my crazy, wild prediction. If they win it this year, I think he'll just go ahead and walk away he'll still be 41, but he'll be 42 by next year. I think his wife will get in his ear and make him walk away from the game. And that's how the season will end. So Patriots Rams at Super Bowl 53. Got the New England Patriots winning it just because the Rams just won't have that experience. I think they'll be able to rattle them a little bit, and the Patriots will get it done, and they ain't gonna lose 2 Super Bowls in a row. So where they able to go to their 3rd streak, which is rare. But I just don't see nobody in the AFC beating them. I wouldn't be shocked. See, that's the thing. If they can get out the AFC, they fine. But Steelers, you know, will be contending for it. I think the Jaguars have a good chance. I think the Chargers do too. I just think, you know, I just don't like them on the road, you know. And Houston is a dark horse team with the talent they have. So we'll see. Like I said, Rams, same thing. It's a lot of teams. I really, like I said, probably wanted to pick the Saints. Eagles, they're capable of getting back, but I just think Wentz is in sort of like a get himself back year. So I think he's going to sort of like, you know, not struggle per se, but take some time to get himself back. Packers, of course, have a chance. That's why I really want to pick. I picked them last year, but Aaron Rodgers got hurt, and that was it for that. Minnesota's capable, so is Carolina. They've done it before. Atlanta, even though I don't have them as a playoff team, they capable. They have been there. So both conferences is deep. But I just felt more comfortable about these 2 teams, and it's just hard to go against the Patriots until they lose. It really is. So that's it. That's how I see it breaking down. Don't know how long this was. Hopefully it wasn't as long as it was last year. I thank everybody for sitting through here and joining me. Hopefully your team will do well this year. Very excited about the season. Also, I want to announce after this week, of course, I'll be back Saturday with our regular weekly blog. But after that, the next week, I think the Wednesday is on the 10th of September or the 11th or 12th. I think it's the 12th, excuse me. Wednesday, September 12th, we'll start doing 2 a week. 2 blogs a week, Wednesdays and Saturdays. Of course, the Wednesday one will be more focused around the Thursday night football games. So it'll be Thursday night games every week. But you know, if something happened in other ways of sports, basketball or something, or you know, MLB, I touch on it. But the Wednesday one will be focused right around the Thursday night game. So there'll be 2 a week. That's starting the week after, once week 1 gets started. And also I'm gonna do this as well. I think I'm gonna do a live come on live Monday mornings after the football season, after week 1, you know, after all the Sunday games. I'll go on live and talk about it, some of the big things that happen on Sunday. So get on for a few minutes, try to interact with you guys, talk a little football. I'm gonna call it the solid. It's a solid morning. That's what I'm gonna call it. So that'd be sort of a little blog there, little mini blog there. So got a lot of work. And like I said, I apologize for not doing the video games so much. Just been tired. But right now, as soon as I finish this, I'm gonna do a God of War video. Gotta start trying to get some things done. Been slacking a little bit, so I understand. But thank you for all the support. Hope you have a wonderful football season. I can't wait. I'm excited. Football season is here. College football was great yesterday. And I want to thank everybody for the support. I put something on social media to remind you to watch. And I'm Troy West saying thank you. Enjoy your NFL. And I'll talk to you next week. Thank you so much.